What if I told you you could skip the most tedious step in digital art, aka the line art, without sacrificing quality? Sounds too good to be true? I just tried a method that saves hours of work and I'm so tempted to never going back to doing line art. Let me show you the magic trick behind this. Okay, so normally after sketching, I'd spend ages painstakingly cleaning up the sketch or making a whole new line art. I've been told I'm a pretty fast artist when it comes to line arting. Usually, a piece like this would take me about an hour to line art or so. That's already a lot of time in my opinion. But anyway, not today, Satan. Not today. Today I'm gonna jump straight to color and forgetting about this line art hell. Here's the trick. Instead of line art, I'm using the border layer effect as I add my flat colors. This automatically creates an outline around everything I paint. So if I set the border to be black, bam! I get a black contour around the colors instantly that I can use as line art. On Clip Studio Paint, you can find this option on the Layer Property tab. Click on the circle and here input which color you want the edge to be and its thickness. I started with a default value of 3, but you can start with whatever you want and even adjust it later to get a thicker or thinner line art. So don't worry too much about this number for now. But Rina, that only makes an extra outer edge. How do I make a line art for everything that's inside of that colored shape? Easy peasy, my dear. Well, for the most part, it's easy. Just erase. If you use a small enough brush, you won't be able to see the lack of paint. Just the border that gets created around that lack of paint, which will look just like regular line art strokes. That's what I did to draw the fingers and the arm, for example. I do recommend you use a normal brush for this trick, such as the Maru pen, something that's fully opaque with sharp edges and no texture. Otherwise, the extra border effect might turn into a muddy gradient around some spots. Although maybe that's exactly what works for your style, so feel free to experiment. I'm just mentioning what worked best for me when I was aiming for a clean anime style line art. Anyway, that's how this instant line art works. The best part? It updates in real time as I paint. So if I tweak something, I don't have to redraw anything. It's clean, it's crisp, and it saves so much time. I split the flat colors into a couple of layers for the skin. I separated the face from the rest of the body so I could work on the hand details with more ease, the hair and the ribbons. So this is even a way to economize layers as well if your computer lags when handling big files and lots of layers. The only part where I did the liner as usual was the eyes, because that element just has too many details to figure out how to do it easily with the border effect. Plus it's probably the only thing I don't mind lining on a drawing. I just love drawing eyes so much. Now this border trick isn't perfect. The edge effect can be a little unpredictable depending on the brush you use. It might show some super tiny little bumps, so you have to be extra sure that the edges of your flat colors are well defined. You would also need to paint the shading and all the rendering on the same layer of the flat color most likely, because painting on a new clipped layer will cover the black edge if you're not careful enough. A couple of ways to get around this would be to use a multiply or other blending modes to add your rendering, or select what's painted on the flat color layer so you don't go over the lines. Personally, I just find it less troublesome to bite the bullet and render everything on the same layer. But I'm also aware it has taken me years to be this confident in my painting skills. So if you need to use other methods, that's fine too. But compared to manually inking everything, gosh, this method is a godsend, I kid you not. I was so happy I could move straight to rendering while keeping a clean line art at the same time. This might not replace your line art process completely. I did paint over in the end to further detail some parts of the line art to fit my style better. But if you want to save time, for example when doodling or on pieces you do for fun, this trick is a lifesaver. For this test, I drew my character Huion wrapped up in a bright red ribbon because, you know, today it's Valentine's Day. Not sure if this trick will fully replace my line art for the rest of my days, but it's definitely a technique I will keep in mind from now on. and surely use often when I'm too tired to stress about making super clean lines. And that's it. Line art? Never heard of them. This trick saved me at least an hour of work. Imagine what you could do with all that extra time. You could use it to level up your art with all the exclusive tutorials, brushes, and resources I share on my Patreon. If you're serious about improving your drawings, check it out. The link is in the description and somewhere around the screen right now. And of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you like this art hack. I hope it inspires you to try this method yourself. Keep on drawing and practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!